So, it's been a month. I went back to Spartanburg, and you won't believe what happened with the results. Let's find out what took place in Spartanburg. What's up, good people? This is Michael Woodland of M-W Tactical, and once again, I want to say thank you for joining me for another match review. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the video, I want to go ahead and remind everyone, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you prefer. And then if you want to be notified of when we put up a video, go ahead and hit the bell notification and then pick whichever way you want to be notified. It will be greatly appreciated. Now, as we stated, this match took place in Spartanburg, South Carolina. If you saw the last match review video, that took place in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So it's been about a month since I last shot a match. And honestly, I had a choice between Spartanburg or another match, and I chose Spartanburg. Now, I tried to divide it up amongst the area, and I had other reasons why I had to go to Spartanburg. I had to pick up some other things, but I'm glad I did, because this match was a bit challenging, but I felt very relaxed shooting the match. Before we dive into what took place in Spartanburg, you know we got to give a shout out to the match director and the setup crew. So the match director at Spartanburg happens to be Eddie Wagner. The setup crew being Dave Payne, Mike Morris, Bob Wright, and my main man, Vince Poteet. Once again, guys, 2 thumbs up, great stages, fun match. Now, let's dive into it and let's talk about this match. I'm a firm believer in these guys, the setup crew, they compete against each other to see who can put up the best stage for that day. But at the same time, the theme seemed to be sneaky targets hiding around. A lot of people, what they do is they go up, they read the stage brief, and then they do a brief walkthrough. Some people don't even really look at the number of targets, count it, and then do. Some people just walk up and just here's my plan, this is what I'm gonna do. On one stage, I had to tell 3 people, hey, look around the corner, there's a target hiding right there looking at you. So, like I said, Spartanburg actually keeps you on your toes when it comes to shooting these matches. So that's one thing I do like about it. The other aspect of it is, it seems like every time I go up there, it's harder. Well, it gets harder and harder to try to figure out what is the best stage of the day. Honestly speaking, all the stages were that fun and that good. So I couldn't even pick a favorite stage. So that's a great match in my opinion, a good match. So let's go ahead and dive into what took place in Spartanburg. So stage 1, I decided to start where I started on this stage differently from everyone else, because it seems like, a lot of times when you go to a match, a lot of people will dump their stage plan once they see somebody else do it and it's better than whatever they had planned. I'm a firm believer in just stick with whatever I came up with, even though I'm a firm believer in the starting position. If I would have just turned my body probably 75 degrees and faced the targets instead of running into the targets, that when you see the video, that was a great stage plan. But for me, I started where I started because that's what I came up with initially. I already prepped it, walked it 10 times over. I had it in my memory. So this is what I did. Also, you saw me put 3 shots into the target after the reload. For whatever reason, I did not have sights on the target on the first shot. But luckily, that second shot, it was shots in the brown because it was a tuxedo target. And then the third shot was in the brown as well. So I'm glad I actually recognized what I did. But overall, placement was key. well, shot placement was key. So let's check out stage 1 and see what you thought and how you could have ran it and done it better.
SPSA, March 22. Got a lot of good competition out here. Let's see how stage treats us today. Mike's up next.
Stand by. Clear hammer, holster.
Stage 2. Now, if you actually listen to the podcast, the M-W Tactical podcast, and other videos that I talk about that I post on Instagram, you know I am a fan of short stages. You can learn so much from a short stage, but then again, a short stage can be more stressful than a medium or a long course. That's just what I believe sometimes, and that's what's been proven to me over the past year. So I've come to love short stages. Now, all the stages that are at this point at Spartanburg, they've all been fun. They all been kind of like in a position to have you thinking, but now the race is between speed and accuracy. So let's check out stage 2 and you tell me what you think.
Are you ready? Clear. If clear, hammer down, and
Stage 3. Stage 3 was a classifier. Now, what I decided to do was, of course, I ran it a little bit differently than everybody else. This classifier being called, I missed that kind of clarity. Well, you got to take 3 shots. So you got 2 shots on the outside, and then, well, yeah, you got 2 shots on the outside, 2 targets that you can see standing in the middle, and then 2 targets behind the wall, both on the left and right side of the shooting area. Now, the way the written stage brief is, you got to take 3 shots, do a reload, and then shoot the other 3 shots. Now, this is a 2-string classifier, so you got to start with heels on mark, do what I said, and then do the same thing coming back with toes on mark at the other end of the shooting area. So it's kind of fun. And when I first did this, I butchered it the first time. The second and third time I ran it, I felt like, okay, I'm pretty good at it because I actually practiced the movements when I got home one day. I was so pissed off that I butchered it the first time. Now this time, I had a hiccup on the first string. But let's watch it. Let's see what took place.
are you ready? Stand by.
Reload if necessary. Make ready for your next frame.
Good.
You know, now that I look at it, a bunch of them are that way.
Oh, stand by.
I have no. I've only tried that mag.
If you're finished,
Just
unload
on
that
the
clear.
base plate, it's
Clear
just
hammer.
one more round
Hold.
to do, which I needed.
840.
Stage 4. Stage 4 was the one stage that gave me the most problems all day. Now, when I say it gave me problems, what I'm really saying is the fact I think by the time I got to stage 4, I was either hungry or tired, but for whatever reason, I saw on one target, I put 3 rounds into it because I saw one round literally just straight miss it. I saw it hit the dirt, I saw the dirt splatter, and I was like, wow. And then when I put that third shot into it, it barely made it into the D zone. Yes, that is a true statement. But Another thing with this stage that gave me a problem was the openness. Because when you see where you start at, of course, when you shoot the first 4 targets, now your choice is you could either go left, right, or straight to the middle. I decided to go to the left. Now, of course, after shooting all those targets in that array and then coming back to the middle opening area, it almost seemed like it was too long and the rhythm almost threw me off. But I think that was purposely put into the stage design, you know, so just to throw the shooters off. I don't know, but that's what played in my mind a little bit. But I felt like what I did was okay. Now, if I had a chance to do it again, by all means, I think I would have ran it a little bit more harder. So let's check out stage 4 and you tell me what you think.
You ready? Stand by. If you're finished, unload your pull your hammer.
Stage 5. Now, stage 5 was another one that gave me issues. This was the first stage I did the stage walkthrough when I first got there at the range. So, of course, it took me about 10 minutes to come up with a stage plan for this one because I've seen so many different opportunities that you could have done with this simple stage. First one being is shoot it exactly how I shot it, but that was the last thing I came up with after 10 minutes, nobody helping me. But then I saw something else. When you leave the starting position going to the second shot, now I could have sat in that corner and shot the 4 targets on the right hand side without shooting those first 2 targets on the right hand side, and then go ahead and execute the rest of the stage that way. Or I could have done it as I done it, or shoot 1 of the first targets after the start position on the right hand side, come into the second position, and then shoot these 2 targets and then the 1 target that I didn't shoot from the start position. There was options, but check out what took place on stage 5 and tell me what you think and how you possibly could have ran it.
Are you ready? Stand by. You're finished. Let you clear. If clear.
Stage 6. Stage 6 was pretty interesting. Now, the one thing about stage 6 that got me was where you started at. You could, of course, when you run a stage, you can run it any which way you want. So you try to make your movement as convenient as possible. Now, coming off the starting position, I could have went into the first port and leaned into it and took the headshot, or you could have threaded the needle. And that's what majority of the people on our squad did, threaded the needle. Now, that headshot, it seemed like it was smaller. But of course, you know, everybody did hit it, you know, off the initial start as we done it. But I think that's the only thing on that stage that gave me problems. Everything else was just finding your mark, where you need to go, where you do your reloads, and no extra movement. Because once again, the distance spread out kind of played with your mind a little bit. So as I stated, this week's stage designs were pretty fun and challenging in a sense of speaking. So let's check out stage 6 and tell me what you think. There you have it, the 6 stages that took place at Spartanburg. At the beginning of this video, you heard me say something as to what took place at Spartanburg or something along that line. Now, here's the catcher that remedied thoughts of how I ran that match that weekend. Overall, I came in 10th place out of 40 shooters. In the limited division, I came in 1st place. My goal that day was simply to walk away from the match being in the top 5 in limited and have no mics. That was my goal. I exceeded that goal by coming in 1st place in limited and 10th place overall. I'm actually proud of myself. Yes, I am. I'm proud of myself. We did it. We did it. Go, go. We did. Can we do it again? Can we do it again? Now don't forget, we still got the challenge between a couple other people. So that's still coming. But none of them were at this match. But it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. So there you have it. Another great match that took place here in South Carolina. Now, next week, we're not going to be shooting a match, but we will be putting up another video. But now you have to just come back to see what that video is about. As I stated, if you listen to the podcast, I'm coming up with a master plan to possibly help me get to A class by the end of the year. So as of right now, I'm not going to be shooting no major matches until after the South Carolina State match. I'm doing some practicing, I'm doing some training, and hopefully everything meshes well, and then you see everything flourish when I come back to shooting major matches. So once again, if you will, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Tell us what you think about this. And if you have any input about what took place in the match, please leave your comments below and someone will be getting back with you. As we always say, until next time, keep shooting, keep practicing, and have fun. Y'all take care now.